Hello everyone, I'm here to show you guys how to disassemble and assemble your PlayStation 3 and repaste, clean up the fans and the whole inside of the PlayStation 3. This is the PS3 Slim version. So this is a client brought it in for service job. So we're gonna get right into it. First thing first, we want to remove all these leggings at the corners. I use my guitar pick to do this. Not all of them, some of them, this one right here, and all these flat ones. I recommend you to use that guitar pick, it's really handy. So all the corners except this right side where the hard drive goes. Also you have to remove this warranty sticker. Lift up this flap right here. This is for the screw for the hard drive. So first we're gonna remove the hard drive by unscrewing this screw, the blue one right here. And once you did that, just slightly go ahead and pull this side, the front side, towards the left side or the outside, and then lift up the cover. Next, you want to pull out this metal clip right there and pull out the hard drive. Just slide that out. This is your hard drive. This one is a 160 gig. If you want to upgrade your hard drive, this is as far as you can go. Alright, next we're gonna unscrew all the screws down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 screws right on the bottom cover. Alright, next we need to remove these 1, 2, 3, and 4 tiny screws that are right on the second step of the cover, right in the front edge. And these screws, they have a pin right in the middle, so you need a special screwdriver to open it, the one with the tiny hole inside. Right. Now that we removed all the front screws, what you're gonna do, you're gonna flip it over just like this, and you're gonna lift the back end up a little bit. Just lift up the back side, and this is the top cover right here. So if you want to go ahead and clean it up. Now down here we have the CD-ROM, DVD-ROM, the fan and the heatsink right here, and the power supply right there. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug the power supply just right here. You squeeze this clamp right there, and it goes out. And also disconnect this cable for the other 12-volt power supply. Just pull it out. You have to yank it out from there. You can disconnect it from that side or this side. I'll prefer this side. Alright, next we're gonna remove the 2 screws that hold in the power supply, one on each end, this side and this side. Alright, once you did that, just go ahead and lift up the power supply out. So you can just go ahead and clean up the inside of this one with the pressure air pressure cans. Alright. Next thing here, you want to remove the front cover here for the eject button and power switch. Just lift it up gently from one side here. Don't yank it out, but there's a tiny flex cable right there. You want to remove that flex cable. But before we remove that, just leave it like this, loosen. And at the back of the DVD-ROM, there's a tiny screw right there on the back. So you want to remove that tiny screw. Once you remove that one right there, now go ahead and unplug all these 3 cables right there. Just pull out the cables. Pull them evenly. Once you pull those up, now you can go ahead and remove the CD-ROM from there. And just be careful, there's one more cable. Once you lift it up, there's one more cable right underneath, and it would just come out because it's the one right there. And this one is kind of pain in the neck to put it back in, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Alright. Next, we're going to unplug the Wi-Fi antenna cables from the board. So the white one, just lift it up, just like that. And run the cable from where it's coming. And right here, once you get to the end side, unhook the ribbon cable for the on-off switch and pull it out. So this is the on-off switch board right there. Now keep continuing unhooking the cables. Put the cables one side. You don't have to unscrew the antenna cables here. Just leave them there. They're not gonna do anything. Okay. Next, unhook the fan cable right from the board. Alright, let that loose. We're gonna start unscrewing the two screws right in here and all the black tiny screws right on the cover base. I'm gonna show you where they are. Two in front, right where the hard drive goes. One right in the middle. The one to the side. And one right by the power connector. I always use a magnet for my screwdriver. Once you got those screws out, we're gonna remove the whole board from the here. You're gonna lift it up, holding the fan up. Hold the fan up and pull this case just a little bit forward, just like that. And pull the fan side up. Now you can slide out. There you have the bottom cover. You leave the fan. You can go ahead and clean up this bottom side if you want. Now down here we have the whole motherboard with the heat sink and the fan just right on top of it. We're gonna flip it over. Now down here we're gonna remove first off all the screws on the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. We're gonna remove those 5. Once you remove those 5 screws, you're gonna start removing the 4 screws that hold in the heatsink. 2 for the GPU and 2 for the CPU. We're gonna put this one. I'm gonna show you a trick to with this resource. I don't know, this code, they're supposed to have some tensions, but they don't have any tension to them. They're not flexible. Anyway, so once you remove those, you want to remove the bottom cover. Just lift it up. You have to lift it up from the heatsink side towards the hard drive, just like that. So you're gonna put this to one side. Now you got the whole motherboard here. You don't want to yank the motherboard out because the thermal paste that holds the CPU and GPU, they could be dried, so you can actually break your motherboard or damage anything else. So you want to do it slowly. First thing I recommend, heat it up a little bit. Heat up the CPU with a heat gun or with a hair dryer, just from this side for about 30-40 seconds, so it blends up the thermal paste. And if you don't want to do that, you can just grab your screwdriver, stick it right in between the bottom cover and the PCB board, and just go around. Just move it around and it will just pop out. Be very gentle, don't bend too much the motherboard. And there we go. Now there we have the GPU heatsink and the CPU heatsink. They are inverted. So we're gonna clean up the heatsink first. So to clean up the heatsink, you need an alcohol. You're gonna grab a working towel. I recommend you guys to grab one of these mechanical towels. They're cheap and they're really good for cleaning up thermal paste or any other components. So you're gonna apply the alcohol. That's 100% alcohol. I'll leave in the description where you can buy this. And now you're gonna start rubbing up the heatsink and removing the old thermal paste. You need to clean it really nicely. The shinier the better. Do not remove these thermal pads right here, just leave them there. You don't need to replace those. So now that we cleaned up the heatsink, you're gonna grab the motherboard and you wanna clean up the motherboard. Just remove the excess first. It's really easy to remove it with this alcohol. It blends out really easy. Do not use a regular alcohol, as they have like a 70% water, and that's really bad. And if your PlayStation doesn't hold up its dates and time, any sorts of stuff, you want to replace the BIOS battery right here. That battery right there holds down the date and time and the configuration and stuff. Alright, now we clean up this. We're gonna put this to one side. Now we're gonna blow some air right through the fans right here and clean up the heatsink and the fan. Also, if you want, you can go ahead and remove these two screws to clean up the fan even better. Just by two screws, the fan will come out. Just like that. So you can go ahead and clean up the fan and clean up the heatsink. I'm gonna clean these two up and I'll be back. Alright, now that the fan is cleaned up, I clean up the fan and I clean up the heatsink. We're gonna put it back together. Put the two screws that holds the fan. Just like that. Run the cable on the bottom. And you're gonna flip it over. Now, this is very important part of this process, to repaste. So in order to repaste, you want to apply a little bit of, I always apply a little bit of tiny, about 50-60 degrees heat right on the CPU and GPU. So I'm going to apply a little bit of heat with a hair gun or with a hot air station, just for a little bit. Alright. The reason I do that is just to blend the thermal paste. But some thermal pastes are really hard, so it's easy to put the thermal paste. So now we heat it up. I'm gonna use an MX4 Arctic brand. So we're gonna just drop our line across right from there all the way to the other side, and tiny line over here, and make a tinier line right there. And for the CPU, same thing. We start from the corner. Just like that. And as we put a pressure with the heatsink, it's going to spread around. And don't worry, it's not too much. They do have its own heatsink right on the CPU and GPU, so if anything that just drops over, it will not do any harm. So what we want to do, we want to flip it over, put the HDMI side down first, and then gently press down the motherboard. Now we're gonna grab the second layer of the motherboard, and you're gonna put it right there on top. Now this is the thing that I don't like about this one. The PlayStation 3, the fat version, they had this kind of metal, but they were way better as they had a really high tension on them, so you wouldn't be able to bend it easy like this. It's just like you bend it and it stays just like that. It doesn't go back. There's no flexibility into it. So this is really bad version for this ones, and I'm guessing they did this. They do this in purpose, because the other ones, they really were like a springy. As soon as you try to bend them over, and they will just go back to the position that they were. So that really helps to pull the heatsink towards the motherboard, as these ones, they don't do a good job. That's why you sometimes get those red lines. So anyway, so we're gonna bend them a little bit and put the screws for those. If you can get the PlayStation 3, the first generation clamps, grab those. They fit to these ones very easy, and put those ones in. Alright, next we're gonna put the screws that we took from the sides of the bottom cover. They have these tiny arrows right beside them, so you know where they're supposed to go. Now that we have this one ready, you want to go ahead and plug the fan. Alright, so we're going to grab the bottom cover. Now what we're going to do, we want to put the I/O side in down first. So grab it just like this, remove all the cables from underneath, put it to one side, and then place down the back side of the board down, and gently push down the fan right there, just like that. Okay, once we have this down, we're gonna put the 3 black screws and the 2 white screws right on the hard drive. So one in the middle, one right in the corner, and the last one was right by the power jack, and the 2 ones are right where the hard drive goes in. Next, we're gonna run down the Wi-Fi cables right between the gaps, goes all around, underneath, just like that. You just have to pop in the Wi-Fi antennas, you don't have to twist. Alright. Once we have that one right there, you're gonna grab the on-off switchboard. You're gonna place that one in. Just push it down. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right here. So you can just take it out and push it down gently, right where the black line is. Next we're gonna put the CD-ROM, DVD-ROM, but now this is the tricky part. You have to pull this brown or black cover up a little bit. You're gonna pull this. What I usually do, take the top cover out so I can get more access to the bottom. Alright, now we're gonna remove the mid screw, the side screws right here. And this way you can also clean up the, what do you call, the inside of the CD-ROM. So you're gonna pick up this back side, lift it up, just wiggle it around a little bit, it will come out. Now you want to unscrew the front two screws on each side. Where did I put the screw? Right there. Use a magnet to pull it out. And next, you want to just go ahead and gently lift up the front side, and the back. There's a two clamps here. You want to unclamp this side, unclamp the other side, right there. And now you can just pull it out. Be gentle. And then there's your laser if you want to clean it up. So what we're going to do, the CD-ROM is going to be on this way. So you're going to unhook this ribbon cable right there. And we're going to pull it out just like that. Now we're going to push it down right there. Once we have it right in a position, you have to just pass it through the crack right there. So bend it just like that and put it down like this, and then now it's easier to install on this end. Right there, hold it and then close the flap right there. Now if you want to go ahead and clean up the last laser right there on top, be very gentle. You can do it with a Q-tip. Just grab your Q-tip and some alcohol and just clean excessive dust right on top. And next, so you want to grab the top cover gently, put it right on top. Press down the back side and press down the front side. I'm gonna put it in this position so I can see. Now we're gonna put the two screws right in the front. This is the easier way to do it. Otherwise you're gonna damage the ribbon cable. Once you put that in, just put the top cover and that's it. Put the side screws and the center screw. Now you can go ahead and put down the on-off switch. And stick it down. You're gonna hear some clicking noise right there and right there. So the CD-ROM goes down and then the on-off switch port goes right on top. And The last thing for the CD-ROM is to put all the back ribbon cables in. So you want to grab the tiny white one, just push it down. The brown one, push it straight down, and the big ribbon cable right there. Now once you have all those in, you want to grab your power supply, move the cable, move this cable out of the way, just push it in straight up and push it down, and plug in. Don't plug in the cable because you have to put the screws down first, the two tiny screws on each side. Now you can go ahead and plug in the jack for the power, and on this side the 12-volt power jack. Just like that. You're almost set. Now you're gonna grab the top cover, put the front end down first in 45-degree angle, and then work your way all the way to the back. Put the back side down and hold it, flip it over. Now you're gonna put all the screws down. So I'm gonna start from the corner, top corner, these two ones, the mid, the back, and that one right there. Well, once we have those in, you want to grab your hard drive, flip it over, make sure that this edge right there has to be where this hole is right there, so do not go putting it this way, and just slide it in. Now you're going to put the screw right there to hold it in place. Before you put it in, grab this plastic, but the plastic goes in it too. Put the plastic offset and then push it towards the inside. And now you can go ahead and put that in. And last screws is gonna be all these four sides. We're gonna put these ones right, or stitch them out in front. Alright guys, and this will be almost done. If you guys like this video, thumbs up, and if you have any questions, just ask me in the comments, and I'll take requests from people, from my subscribers. And thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And this is how you do your own service job for your PlayStation 3 Slim version. All done.